Internet, welcome back to Contact, which is a very windy survival series apparently, where, well, I'm gonna do some things. Yeah, I'm not sure why, if I get out of that seat it's much less noisy. Must be a fan on in there. Yeah, I am in here in the printing room because my plan for today, well, it may involve printing, I don't know if I'll get to it, but it involves creating something to print. So I was thinking about my overall strategy of combating the Factorum, and I realized taking the Stingray into battle is kind of excessive. It's designed to fight, yes, but it also will take damage if it fights, and it's designed to fight and to haul cargo, meaning it's sort of a multi-role thing. I think my new strategy, my better idea, will be to combat the Factorum not with the Stingray, but with a smaller ship, a small grid fighter. I have the NPC cargo ship, and I'll probably get a few more. And I have some parking down here. I realized, I had a parking down here. I replaced it with refineries, but I still need some large ship parking, and hey, they're all conveyored, so yeah. Stick this guy down here. I think my next sort of thrust towards the Factorum, I'm going to take the large grid NPC ships, probably, drag them through warp fields with the Stingray, so jump, have them all connected. The Stingray will sit like 5 kilometers out from the enemy, hopefully. Then I will launch the large grid ships, have them sort of escort a small grid fighter, and I will have multiple other small grid fighters available so that I can, replace them when I inevitably die. So let's go over here to our small grid town. Go ahead and start laying something out here. So my thought with this ship, it'll be a small grid fighter, but it's not going to necessarily be, small and cheap. Yeah. It's gonna be, hopefully, basically my plan is to give it all the capabilities the Stingray currently has, but in a smaller, more maneuverable package, so that it is still less expensive than, say, if the Stingray blows up, but I can still pick off things with a big railgun and all that fun. Ooh, and actually, yeah, so that railgun's conveyored. Oh, I could give it all kinds of big guns. I don't think I'm going that far. Where? There we go. This thing will be heavily armed, so a railgun with 2 autocannons in addition. What are the... Yeah, the autocannons are only conveyored on the side, so I can't put, like, ammo storage there. Use one of these conveyor converters to, give us some small grid piping. This won't need large grid. Hold on. One thing I'm going to do, too, just to make this easier to understand, I'm going to weld it up as I go. It does mean potentially I'll, have to grind away fully built blocks and have wasted time. But I think it'll make it a lot easier to see what's going on and, ooh, don't want to bump it. Yeah, if nothing else, it'll make it more visually interesting as I build it and explain what I'm building, which for a video is a good idea. So the thought I was thinking, so I've got my sort of front guns. Another aspect of this, so the Stingray, a big part of what its function is to jump me into where the enemy is provide me with materials and whatnot to fight, and provide me a respawn with the medical bay. Well, with the fighter, I want to be able to get closer, ideally get right up to whatever base I'm attacking, so that I can infiltrate it and still have a close respawn. So I am going to, I guess it goes on this side, stick a survival kit back here. This will also let me convert from the large grid to small grid, which means I can have tanks and whatnot that are smaller. But yeah, I want, basically this fighter is going to be basically it's a little stingray that's going to let me hopefully get in, hide it better so that it doesn't get shot by things that come in as quickly, meaning I can take more time in the base, not worry about what's happening outside because the ship I care about is far away. This little thing will just be, you know, it's just collateral damage. Though I did just realize something. This is a very long ship. My printer bay is not that long. So I need the entire thing to be under 15 or under 15, under 50, no, 25 small grid blocks long, under 5 large grid blocks. So maybe let's just place that out real quick. Yeah, that's sort of what I was afraid of. We're pretty much already there. So, either I make this thing much bigger, or I compact it. Maybe I'll get the back bit designed and then see where I can put that makes sense. Because I'm thinking currently, if I undersling that and connect it to that conveyor, that shaves off a lot of length. So I also want on this Gatling turrets, which may seem like an odd choice. Is that? Yeah, that's lined up. Yeah, that may seem like an odd choice because, you know, they're bulkier and for a fighter you generally have fixed guns. But I've found that it's nice to have, when you're trying to focus on avoiding things, it's nice to have guns that can just shoot and target on their own. And the Gatlings are primarily going to be sort of defensive. So shooting out, you know, drones or missiles that are coming at me. Hopefully I'm not in close quarters combat, and so I can just point and shoot at anything with the big guns before then. So I basically have this sort of area in here to stick bits. Maybe a bit out the back. Thrusters are going to be tricky. In fact, well, let's get some thrusters on. I have some ideas for thrust. So I've got a bunch of thrusters every direction except forward. I don't want to put... The forward one I'm thinking will go just kind of basically square on the back here. Which I guess... It'll probably go... I can't place it, but it'll be here, but one block over. I want to leave room so I can stick stuff in there. Now, reactors are going to be a thing, or batteries, but I think probably a mix of both. I don't really have room. Well, let's get our other bits in here. So I want tanks, and conveniently, we now have, yeah, a small oxygen tank, which is actually fairly small. I figured it would be a, you know, hydrogen tank 4x1 size. So maybe, I just realized too. I may be making this thing too compact now. Because I also need a connector probably down here. And the way I've been designing it, this is the bottom. So I'd want the connector flush with that. Which, yeah, if we do this guy here, takes up pretty much all the space we have. And I need the connector sort of centered on my square. Okay. Maybe we move... Let's move these back a bit. So, if I assume that is the hard and fast front of this ship, and I have that much room back here to add extra stuff. If I put a battery there, actually this may work. Okay. So battery is there. My connector. I can probably get away with it being there. Though, I think it'll be safer here. Which means this area is a little awkward and annoying. But if that's the very middle of my ship, I have this guy here. Run those out like so. So this leaves a gap in here that I can have stuff in that can also be cargoed. I can have the thruster there. I actually have... So at that length, I have more room. Let's see if I need it. I think what I'm going to try to do here is with a small conveyor there, I can have an oxygen tank in the middle, and then on each side I will have hydrogen tanks. The reason I want hydrogen tanks is I plan to give this thing sort of hydrogen afterburner type deals. Because they're on afterburners because it's not after. But hydrogen boosters that should give it a little bit more zip when I need it. The big ion should do decent, but this thing's going to be relatively heavy for the amount of thrust it has. The hydrogen should give me enough boost that I can sort of rocket my way out of danger. Hopefully better than, you know, just the ion. I may, instead of having that there, I can relocate some of these, and that gives me 4 small ions in every other direction, which should be good. I've got 1 battery on board. I think I am going to stick reactors pretty much everywhere else. Well, when I have steel plate. And then connect them all with conveyor tubes and whatnot. So I'll have 5 small reactors plus the battery. Hopefully that'll be enough to charge the railgun and use thrust. So that's my big issue here. I don't know exactly how much power I'm going to be drawing. And if it's not enough, I may lengthen this whole thing, which will give it, well, no, more room, which will mean I can fit more junk in it. Now, before I get too far, I have a gyro attached to the battery. This is technically the outer hull. I'll add some armor shaping to it. But I should have some room. I don't know what all I want in here. I know an event controller makes sense. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have an action relay, just so that I could use it to control things on the drone ships. We'll just remember maybe that that space is open, not stick something in it yet. Get our bits going here. And get all this welded up. I guess alternatively, I was just thinking about this, I could use a small connector down here. Would that actually... That may let me rearrange the tanks, which would theoretically let me adjust where my... Well, it would let me add a second battery up here. Yeah, oh well, I put some power cells in, but it's not the end of the world. The main reason I've been using the large inset connector is because all of my other stuff is set up with that. Like, these have them. These don't have to, though. What does the connector look like? The small one in large grid. From right, yeah. It's just the same box as these, but with the little hole. I think I'm gonna change this. And I'll just change the printing room to have a small connector in it, because really, that's what I should be using for any small ship that doesn't need cargo transferred through it. Like, arguably most of these, aside from the sports welder, though, well, that's a large grid ship. This one doesn't need it, but I don't know, it fit. Yeah. Now, the only downside here is that this inset connector does carry cargo, which means I can have extra ammo on board. If I get rid of it, I can fit my tanks down here, but it means less cargo unless I make specified cargo containers. I think it's still the better option. Alright, and conveniently I still have 5 reactors I can fit down here. This does extend me out another block, but again, we have plenty of room. It gives me more. I now have 6 blocks in here for all the various bits. Yeah, I think this was the better maneuver. I suppose. Nah, I still think 1 thruster is all we need. I could fit 2. Well, let's see. I think conveniently this is the center line. So if we put our connector there, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks out that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 that way. Okay, that's maybe not the center line. Is this? Oh. I've made it even, so the center is actually here. That's not right. Okay, I may be able to make the center here. If so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I... Yeah. So if I do like that, it's even more thrust, and the center line is now, well, where a conveyor can be. That does cause issue for my hydrogen boosters, though. Uh... Hmm. And I don't really like the options it gives me to fix that either. Do I make the whole thing just slightly longer then? Because I can always move the gun further forward. Now it'd let me move the tail further back. Or, hold on. Silly idea. I can go wider a little bit. So, if I do like that. Oh, I could put reverse thrust there, except for it would cook these these turrets. So we won't do that. Yeah, with that like that, I can run the pipe down here and then have little afterburner nozzles down here. I think that'll look interesting enough. Gives me some armor shaping options. Alright. It's still skinless, but I'm curious just how much juice we're drawing. I mean, it moves pretty well. The railgun, I guess, is charged. It was at like half power before, but we also don't have any power in the reactors. So, yeah, that's probably good.
Ship fuel low.
Yeah, no, ship fuel's low. Okay, it can definitely move.
Ship fuel low.
Side to side, and I mean, it drifts a lot. It's going to with the amount of forward thrust it has.
Ship
It's also
fuel
not
low.
using hydrogen. Don't know if I
Ship fuel low.
wonder if it would be better to get rid of the hydrogen, because I don't think I need it with two
Ship
boosters.
Fuel low.
And as much
Ship
as
fuel
this works, the sort of side by side, I think it looked better before. Yeah, it's got enough power. I think I'll get rid of the hydrogen. I may rearrange what's going on down here, because I still want some hydrogen on board for me. That way I have jetpack refueling for when I'm infiltrating. Let's actually, before I do too much of this, let's get back to building area. Now, something to do before I forget it. I do need... Where are you? There you are. I do need a merge block for printing, which will have to go there. Which should be alright. So I don't strictly need the survival kit exposed. I just need to be able, ideally, to get into this little panel. And I can do that with one of these. This is a trick I've done before because you can see and interact through these barred windows. If I put that there, I can armor around it, and it's like a little grate, but I can still get in to recharge all my bits. And I'll still be able to respawn from it even if it were completely buried in armor. Let's get rid of this. This will become slightly asymmetrical down here, but that shouldn't be a problem. So, oxygen there. Hydrogen there. And then I could just stick another reactor in. How much? It should tell me how much these reactors can put out at maximum. Okay, so 500 kilowatts. So that's 2 megawatts? Well, 2.5 megawatts, I believe. How much? And this doesn't tell me the maximum input it has. We'll hope it's good. It's risky. In theory, I won't be firing the railgun in, like, close combat. It's for, you know, picking things off from a distance. So hopefully it won't matter that it is, you know, I can fire it, recharge, and hopefully not be, you know, needing to dodge things as that's happening. Okay. Guess it's just armor shaping and fitting various bits. And I have a lot more little gaps to stick stuff. Now there is a question, do I want any AI capability for these things? I don't think so. 'Cause truthfully, the little drones, like the pufferfish worked alright, but they weren't, you know, they weren't the most amazing combatants in the world. Their best sort of situation was to just, you know, distract the enemy. Hopefully the large ships will be doing that for me, and the large ships are much bigger and harder to kill, so they'll do it for longer. I think all of these I bring along I want to keep in reserve. Oh, and I should... Oh, hold on a second. Is that what I think it is? This won't stay here, but I just need to test something now. Oh, it is! Oh, I didn't even realize this. Projectors now have an access point on them. Oh, that's incredibly helpful. They really... They took these things and just fixed the heck out of them. That's wicked. Alright, anyway. I do need to take into account building of these things, too, because if they're going to be printed off, that means I need to... There are going to be blocks that have to exist as it's pulled from the ground. So, that'll be good. The survival kit will need some time, because it has to place at the bottom. That could be an issue for these side thrusters. Most everything in that core is either at that, starting at that level, or is the same height. So like the batteries will be fine. These thrusters will be fine. These tubes are at the bottom height, so they'll place when this places. And the cockpit's the same. The turrets will place, they aren't holding anything. So maybe I don't put a gyro in there. Oh, and actually, okay. So armor will connect along the top of up here, which means any blocks in here, so long as I have blocks coming up to connect with that armor, they should place and hold these thrusters on so they'll get welded. So this is all coming off the issue that a block has to be, like, if a block is attached to another block, the block it's attached to has to exist before the projector will weld it, onto the new block. Basically, this survival kit won't place until it is clear of the welders, which means a block up here that's just sitting up here, if this were all that was happening, this block would not weld, or it would not be placeable until the survival kit was placed, which may mean that at this height it is no longer in the welding range, and so it won't get built. Hopefully that makes a tiny bit of sense. But for my purposes, I should be able, now that I have this weird gap, I can just stick the gyroscope in here. So it'll get welded as the thing is pulled up at the same time as all the blocks sort of on this layer get welded. And it should still be relatively, secure and out of the way. So I will have armor along here. I can put an antenna in there. Don't even know what all I need. Definitely want a repair projector, because then I can just fly into welder areas and fix bits. We probably should have one of these action relays, which, despite being tubes, have placement, like attachments, as if they were blocks. I can just stick it in here. I do have some wasted space, but I think it's partially going to be a question. Partially it's a question of what do I put in there, because I can't think of anything I need. And part of it's a question of what will get welded. Even though in theory these should sort of connect together, sort of like stalactites going down. I think that's good though. So now it's, whoa, got a little close there. Now it's just a question of armor and, yeah, some slight beautification, maybe some paint. And I think, I'm tempted to use heavy armor on this thing. Small grid heavy armor is relatively useless. One well-placed shot can still do mostly take it out. But it is, I mean, small grid armor in general, just like paper. I think we'll do it. We have enough horsepower that I can afford to weigh it down a little bit.
Energy low.
It does mean I need metal grids on me to place them, but at least they don't fully build without the metal grids like they do on large grid. I think this will be fine. There's going to be a lot of area that is still just exposed, so I mean this won't be super survivable, but little bits, it may come in handy. It may save me a little bit somewhere here and there. Okay. Starting to like this little thing. Oh, I should, while I'm thinking about it. Ooh. Don't remember these guys. Look at all the ways they can go. Ah, I can make some cool, I may use these just because they're interesting. Even though I have other lights that work just fine there. Where am I? I don't need that. I assume these are like spotlights. Guess I don't know. Hard to tell. I mean, I don't strictly need them for long distance lights, but it's good to have some lights on board. I have no idea what to call this thing. It looks kind of awkwardly unattached from this angle. What with all the guns in there. I'm kind of liking it. I couldn't think of what to paint it either, so I just went with the sort of station colors, which I think works pretty well because we don't really have any ships that use those. Let's see how performance is now. Okay, a little more sluggish. I may want to tune those heat vents too.
Ship fuel low.
Okay, still moves pretty good in that forward direction though. Yeah, the side drift is not great.
Ship fuel low.
It's honestly not a bad thing for a fighter.
Ship fuel low.
It just means that precision maneuvering is tricky.
Ship fuel low.
Also, I should really toss some uranium in so it stops saying that. Tune these guys. My hope is that once I fire the railgun, those vents will just like flare open as we start chewing through power, recharging the railgun. I mean, it's alright that they flare when I thrust. Honestly,
Ship fuel low.
Okay, let's get back and put some
Ship
uranium
fuel
in.
low.
Do I just go ahead and replace some of these with docking ports for these guys? A bit of a trick I'm thinking, not a trick, an issue I'm thinking of. Oh, I did just realize those lights may not place when it's being welded. That's going to be an issue for pretty much anything I put in that spot. They look cool, but we don't need them. And anyway, an issue I'm going to have, currently reactors all get sort of balanced, which means whenever I dock this ship, I don't know how that works. My guess is it'll just fill the reactor up if the volume of this reactor is smaller than the normal ones. I don't know. Maybe Izzy's inventory manager is smart enough to handle this sort of thing. Let's go ahead. Hopefully the small grid connector is just all the same parts. That would be convenient. Yes, it is. And while I'm thinking about it, because I haven't yet done it, let's go ahead and get the catwalks up here. I want this upper bit at least to be done. We're docked up here. Let's see real quick. Okay, interesting. So it looks like the reactors don't automatically pull or get pushed by Izzy's, which is probably for the best. Though it does mean... Oh! It means I didn't click the button yet. That's why I was like, why can I not see anything? Now we're actually locked. Oxygen has been refilled. That's handy. Okay. Still not getting... Oh, nope. There they go. Okay, so it probably has like a set amount it fills them to, which is fine. That looks good. Our guns, I believe, all have ammo now. I should just be able to scroll through. Yep, the autocannons are armed. Railgun has bullets. All the things look good. Alright. I guess I will just stick to finishing off this upper bit while I wait for a cargo ship of some sort. Because an extra benefit of having this little fighter, I can now go after the cargo ships with something, you know, smaller and less valuable than the Stingray. It's also much more maneuverable. That means if I have another, you know, cargo pod drop off, I'm going to have a trickier time. Though I do have some mag plates on board, so I should be able to dock to and stop a container if I need to. So yeah, I will continue detailing and watching for signals to appear. Oh. Oh, well, what do you know? Looks like we have an SPRT out there now. Mining carriage, I think, is an old thing, but might still be. I mean, I might as well. It'll be a good test of the ship, if nothing else. And it's the first thing that's come up in. Well, I finished all of this welding. It's been a minute. I've also. Let me just double check. I should have the docking connector set up. Yep. That looks good. I named this ship the F2 because I couldn't think of a better name. So F for fighter, 2 because it's the second if I count the pufferfish as the first. So yeah. Let's go see what we can do against this guy. Yep, we can see there. Guns all have ammo. I should... Let's turn off enable idle movement. They should be set to target all the things they should target. Don't want them doing stations though. Really hope this thing doesn't get away before I finish this. Nope, still out there. In fact, we'll start cruising toward it as we go here. Just want to be able to target different subsystems. So I have a camera on board, as you can see, so we can check this guy out. I have no idea if this is an old grid or just a renamed new grid. It kind of looks modern. Looks very modern. At least from 5 kilometers out. Now what is... Start slowing up. I don't know what my range is. I think range for the small grid railgun is 7... Not 7, is 1.2 kilometers. So I should outrange this guy. Let's... Oh! Okay. That is a surprise. A bruiser. What do we got here? Whoa! Okay, got a drone. That's getting close on this guy. Oh god. Oh no. Okay, well this hasn't gone well. I've lost my gyroscope. I've lost most of my things. I lost the survival kit and the core. Cool. Okay, well, good to know. Oh. I'm not really hiding because you're shooting me. Stop. I don't really... I can't really do much maneuvering. Yeah. Well, that's not good. Not good at all. Oh. Okay, and I was trying to get a thumbnail and... right. Well, okay. Let's go see if we can't get our body back. I'm hoping that the drone won't come looking for me. So that didn't work. I'm now rethinking my strategy a bit. So that drone that popped up is what took me out in the end. It was doing a ton of damage. I'm wondering if upgrading the Gatlings to a stronger, like to an autocannon turret, I don't feel like that would really help either. Well, it might be good. So clearly that drone was still using, it was using the drone controllers to target at maximum range, which makes sense because it's a drone, so it can do that. So it probably is a good idea for me to have one of the defensive controllers on board too. Though no, Gatling turrets, the defense controller just automatically locks targets. I can shoot at... No, I think the Gatling only goes to 600 meters no matter what. So maybe it is a good idea to install some bigger guns. While I'm coasting here, let's check ranges of weapons. So, small grid railgun, 1400 meters. Autocannon, 800. Gatling, 800. Okay. Whoop. Hello, body. Come here, you. There we go. Don't know where that little drone went. Guess we'll head back to base. I also don't know where... And my somewhat ugly mess of signals, I'm not seeing the hulk of the ship. So I'm gonna guess that it's gone. I may need to bulk things up a bit, because part of what happened there was the artillery turret, or not, the whatchamahoo's, I don't know what I'm talking about. The Gatling turret blew up, and there was enough, I guess, damage in general, or a hit came through and took out the survival kit as well, which more or less cored the ship and took out my gyroscope, making the thing dead. So I wonder if maybe extending the Gatling turrets out, like basically adding an armor layer in between them and the center of the ship, would be a good idea. I mean, either way, I now have to build another one of those, which is a bummer. I probably should have printed one off before going, but I was excited and figured it would work better. It probably would have worked better had it not been an enemy that automatically spawned a drone. It fell right into their trap thinking they were easy. But I think that's where we're going to call it for today. I'll probably go ahead... I'll at least rebuild the fighter. I don't know. Do I want to try different ideas for fighters? Maybe I do. I'll think of something and we'll come into the next episode with something. That's a promise from me to you. But at least we got these cool little walkway things on the docks. Anyway, thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to check out the other stuff I've done, and until next week, bye bye.